Okay, we're good to go, Chairman.
Right, good afternoon and welcome to this meeting of the Manor House and Riverside Subcommittee on the 9th of September. We are quorate, just about. Being as there's only a couple of us, I don't think we need to read through all the items. I think we know them off by heart. Get straight into the agenda. Apologies for absence.
Just an apology from Councillor Fogan, Chairman.
Thank you. I'll take that. All in agreement? Yeah. Thank you. Agreement of the agenda between parts 1 and 2. We don't have a part 2, so that's fine. Declarations of interest. I don't think anybody has any. Dispensations.
None received, Chairman.
Minutes of the previous meeting to approve and sign minutes of meeting held on the 15th of January.
That seems an awful long time ago, blimey.
Quite a lot has happened.
Yeah, just a bit.
So we all approve those.
Yeah, I have no problem. Yeah.
Right. The Manor House, Riverside Centre and Town Council offices COVID-19 to receive an update from the Town Clerk. Over to you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. It's just a very short update as to where we are. Obviously, the last meeting was back in January, and we've gone through quite a considerable period of upheaval at the Manor House and Riverside Centre. When the lockdown was announced back in March, on the 23rd of March, we closed the buildings to all bookings, and the Town Council office was only available for staff on an ad hoc basis because the message was to work from home as much as possible. The CAB that rent rooms from us abandoned their operations and they are yet to return. Assist Teambridge remained in the building and continued to do their services, and Rogers Cleaning was the same. We also had the Railway Club on the top floor, and they've not been in yet, but are looking to come back in due course. And unfortunately, the little room that we rented out just as lockdown was beginning, unfortunately, she has had to relinquish her license because it had become unviable for her. So a decision was made not to charge rent on that basis. As time has gone on, obviously we've had a slow start to bookings being made, but as it stands, come October time, we envisage we'll be back up to about 75% of capacity in terms of bookings, not physical people, but 75% of capacity. We have had some long-standing groups finish with us. They just feel it's not viable for them to come back, and that could be because of their age, demographic, and other reasons. But we've also had new groups come along and wanting to make regular bookings with us, which is good news. There does seem to be an appetite for people to come back, and everybody is respectful of the social distancing requirements that we have had to put in place. We've got floor markings, a one-way system in the foyer. We've got hand dispensing, sanitising stations throughout the building. Notices now about wearing face masks in the building, as it is a community centre, that's now mandatory. And people are abiding by the social distancing, which was 2 metres, but now because of the face masks, you can be at 1 metre plus if need be. But where people can, they're still sticking to 2 metres. Everyone's completing the risk assessment. We've completed one, and it's being adhered to. But obviously, you will have no doubt noticed that late last night, the government announced from Monday there is to be a limit of social gatherings of 6 people and less. So at the moment, we don't know any more than that. We're still awaiting the detailed guidance. We don't know if community centres are going to be exempt, which, if they're not, is going to have a real impact on the bookings that we can take. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I believe there's a statement by the Prime Minister at either 4 or 5 o'clock today. So I would like to think the detailed guidance will be published alongside that. We have received a number of calls from our bookers this morning and into the afternoon asking what's going on, and we've just said, we simply don't know any more than you at this stage. But once we do, we will email all of our bookers to tell them it's still as it was, or unfortunately you can only come here with bookings of 6 or less people. So until that time, Chairman, that's about it. It's all going well. We're making it work, and as things change, we're implementing, what we're required to do.
Thank you, Andrew. You actually have mentioned what I was about to say. How many meetings of more than 6 will we have to cancel? Bookings that we've already got, but you don't know, do you?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. That would probably be more a question for Amanda, and she's on leave this week. But
Okay.
it's going to be a lot. You're talking the Gardens Trust, fitness classes. It's a real issue, I think. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, we take it for granted that it's going to be that we've got to cancel them, but public houses
there are some exemptions.
And restaurants.
Weddings have been exempt from it, so you can still have your 30 people at a wedding, which makes you wonder, well, what's the difference of a group in a community centre? We just need to know whether it's solely relating to social aspects or whether they class it as a social gathering going to a community centre, which in effect is what it is, but obviously for a different purpose. It's very grey. We just need that guidance and clarity, I think.
Well, I think we've got to be, we're guided by the government, and we've got to be guided by you when it comes in, because at the moment, I don't think, apart from knowing that tomorrow is Thursday, that's about as much as I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I ask a quick question? How come the Riverside Centre's not being utilised at the moment? I understand there's plenty of rooms within the Manor House, but the Riverside has been closed the whole time, hasn't it?
No, Riverside was open today.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, we had an exercise class in there today. To be honest, we haven't had many bookings for the Riverside, but it is certainly open for hire. I think there was a rogue sign down there saying it was still closed, but we are looking to remove that. But no, it's definitely open for bookings as and when.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. Andrew, why is the Probus Club cancelled with us?
They've cancelled everything up until January.
Right, okay, because of the age group, I suppose.
Yeah, and they're, we are trying to keep long-term bookers and their slots in the system so that if and when they decide to come back or things change, we can still offer them those times. Obviously, we recognise they've had a lot of loyalty with us over many years, then not just Probus, but many groups. So they're still in the system, ready to go as and when. But a number of groups are taking a more pragmatic view that they'll wait it out and see what the new year brings. But I mean, we were saying that back in March, let's wait until the autumn. Well, here we are in autumn, and as we've thought, it's changed again. So, it's just such a fast-moving feast at the moment.
It is. It is. Thank you for that update. Office refurbishment.
Just note. You just need to take a vote to note that.
Can we note that, please?
Thank you.
Refurbishment of the offices, which took part in late March.
It's done.
I know, they look lovely.
I don't think all councillors have seen it, but a fair few have, and so far I think most of the comments have been positive. It's certainly positive from the staff point of view. We've got a nice open plan office now. Everybody feels included. It's an inclusive environment. It's smarter. It's more professional. We've got more space to do what we need to do. We've got more efficient radiators, and we'll see how that pans out as we start needing to put the heating on in the next few months. So yeah, we're really pleased with it. It came in, I think, slightly under budget. Very impressed with the contractors that did it. In fact, they've put in a quote now at Teignmouth Town Council based on our recommendation. And they were a local business as well. So we're really pleased to have supported that. And yeah, chuffed with the outcome.
Good. One thing we did note that we thought about having the front of the desk, the reception desk.
Yes, we haven't taken that any further as yet, but that is still in the back of our minds to try and make that a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I think it's the original 1970s frontage.
Yeah, especially as now this came in under budget, and we still have a little bit of money in the pot to do that with.
Yeah, no, we can certainly look into that and get some quotes.
If we get a quote, I think. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think it would look nice if it was updated slightly.
I've only seen it from the outside, but I certainly will next time I'm passing, if I'm not inconveniencing anyone, I'll go and have a look. But it looks good. But you're right, the finishing touch would be for it to look right from the outside as well, from the entrance bits. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Agreed. And I'd like their number.
Well, the fact that they think we have the budget.
Are you thinking of changing that wallpaper, Gary? Is that what it is? Oh.
No, I like that. That's staying.
No. Okay.
Although nobody else seems to like it.
Okay.
I like it.
There you go.
Future programming. To note that the following the hiatus and refocus of priorities due to COVID-19. Follow-up actions are now underway to the items discussed at the last meeting of the minutes of the committee. And further updates will be brought to future meetings for consideration and action when necessary. Well, we've already discussed basically what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Manor House Conservatory chairman as well. We want the last person we spoke to that sort of fell through, so we're going to get some more quotes on just replacing what's there already or going the whole shebang and doing the original footprint of the conservatory. CCTV for expanding at the Manor to include the rear car park, and also putting something down at the Riverside, which may be via a video link from the Manor House down, rather than having to run cables around. Obviously, this is a conservation area, so we are fortunate that the CCTV fibre does run past the Riverside Centre, so it may be that they can spur off that and go in, but we've still then got to somehow transmit the link back up to this building, and they think they do have a solution, but obviously it's going to cost money. So that's another thing we're investigating. We're going to need to look at replacement of the Manor House boilers. We've got 3 fairly old freestanding boilers, one of which has gone kaput, but is still running the building off 2. But obviously with the Climate Emergency Act, we obviously want to look at more efficient replacements. So that will be something to bear in mind going forward. That is about it. They're the major issues here. And then there will be a scheme of redecoration of the Manor and the Riverside, getting touch-ups done here. There, we will probably need to look at the carpets at some point, because they are now starting to show some wear, especially now that the office has been done. It does seem to show up all the bits and pieces that aren't quite so nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Do we have any idea how much we've lost in income, roughly, or not?
Well, between the end of or mid-March to June, we're looking at about 20,000.
Right.
Gosh.
I can't give you the exact figure yet, but that was based on the bookings we had to cancel and the number of ad hoc bookings that we'd had for the year previously for the same time period, because obviously we would have people coming in off the cuff to say, can I book a room tomorrow, or ringing on the day, can I book 2 hours this afternoon? So basing it on what we had the previous year, that was an extra 10,000.
So we're looking
that's
at
just the Manor House.
We're looking at maybe £40,000 loss then.
Well, but yeah, I mean, we've still got the year to go up until March. We don't know how this latest restriction is going to affect us. We certainly wouldn't have made that money back in this quarter, doing the same, and then another quarter altogether. But at least the way we're operating at the moment, it may well have cushioned things a bit better going forward. But it really all does hinge on this guidance and what they've put in it, and whether we're exempt.
Yeah, I think everybody's tuning in for that one.
Yeah,
definitely.
The finance officer did contact Teambridge right at the very start, asking if there were grants that we were eligible for. We were told we weren't. Then we were told that some town councils had received money, but they were told to pay it back because they weren't eligible. And then we've been told that some councils are entitled. So we've asked again, and it's been absolutely categorically made clear that because our rateable value is above a certain level, we are not eligible.
Oh dear.
So, which is unfortunate, because obviously that side of the business is being run as a business, and we're hiring our rooms out, but we're not eligible to recover any loss. So, and there's obviously no insurance. There's no COVID insurance that will pay out either. So,
do we have any problems with people parking in the Manor during
On the whole, it's been a fairly good situation. We have had the odd few. Now that bookings are more widespread, we are a bit more hot on telling people they can't park here. Parking is solely for users of the building. We still get the odd one now and then, but there have been occasions where they've been locked in over the weekend. And when someone has happened by chance to be coming into the building and they've noticed them, they have told them, you know, if no one was coming in, you would have been stuck in here until Monday.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's a good deterrent as well. But, you know, people do run that risk that the gates will be locked and they'll be locked in until someone next comes to the building.
Mm.
And there is signs up to that effect as well. So everybody knows.
Yeah, we discussed that before, didn't we, about getting the signs and that put up. All right. Well, this is the shortest meeting in creation, isn't it?
I think it has been beaten by your colleague somewhere else, but it must be up there, Chairman.
Thank you. It makes up for going on till 9:45 with town council meetings.
I think obviously going forward, we'll have a bit more meat on the bone. This is really we haven't met since February. Everyone knows what's been going on, so it's just an update to put you all in the picture, and then we'll be able to take things forward from next month or the next meeting in November.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll close this meeting now. I want to ask something. There's nothing at all to do with the meeting.
Just bear with me 1 second while I stop the recordings.